Good morning. It is so nice to be back home and to be able to take a shower. I honestly didn't know what to wash first. I was just so excited to actually be around running water. But I wanted to share with you guys something that I had experienced while I was there. First of all, it was absolutely beautiful. Pictures, videos, don't do that place justice. If you have a chance to visit, honestly, make it. It is just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And I wanted to share with you guys an experience that I had while I was there. I got to spend a little bit of time by myself, and I was sitting on the riverbank on this big rock, and there was this huge tree next to me, and you could tell that the tree had been there for quite some time. You could see where it had been damaged and how it had continued to grow. There were some holes in the tree where some animals had made their little homes, and I was just kind of in awe of this tree, and I was watching as the leaves would fall down and fall into the water and be swept away, and it was just mesmerizing to kind of just sit there and ponder about some things. And earlier that day, I was reading in my meditation book, and it was explaining that life is very simple. We are very simple. But we choose to complicate things because we don't like to accept how simple life could be. And it was in that moment that I was thinking about that concept, and I kept thinking about this tree that was next to me. And, the tree doesn't wake up in the morning and say, I am a tree. My job is to grow. What's the weather going to be like today? Will I get sun? Will I get rain? Will I get snow? What's my soil like? Am I going to be watered? What's going on around me? Are there bugs on me? Is there animals coming? Will someone come and chop me down? It doesn't ponder those things. It doesn't question its existence. It just is. And no matter how many storms come, no matter how much snow comes, no matter how many times it gets knocked down, or its leaves all fall off, or the weather gets cold, no matter how many times it experiences these things, flash floods happen down there all the time. No matter how many times these things happen, it continues to just be, to just grow, because that's what it's there for. And I thought about that in our lives, how sometimes we choose to overcomplicate things. And we think about our circumstances. We think about, in this case, the weather, but in all cases, maybe we think about I'm supposed to have this job, I'm supposed to go to school, I'm supposed to live in this neighborhood, I'm supposed to have this type of house, I'm supposed to drive this type of car, I'm supposed to have this type of clothes, I'm supposed to have this type of relationship, my husband's supposed to treat me this way, my wife's supposed to treat me this way, my friends are supposed to treat me this way. And we get so caught up in what's going on around us that we forget to just be and to just grow. It's hard sometimes for us to focus on the internal. We naturally want to focus on the external and what's going on around us in our circumstances. But when you do that, you have no control over those things. And how you feel and how you respond and how you act is all caught up in those external factors. If the tree spent its time thinking, well, I know winter's coming, and I know that all my branches are going to feel the weight of the snow, and I know my leaves are going to fall off, and I know they're going to wither away, so I'm just not going to grow this season. How does that impact everything around it? Where do the animals stay? How does oxygen get produced? It's this ripple effect, because the tree doesn't really understand its purpose. It doesn't understand how it impacts the world around it. All its job is to do is to just grow. Just be the tree. That's it. And in that simplest form, just being the tree has the biggest impact on all of those things around it. Sometimes it's hard to take these concepts and apply them to real life, because it sounds good, but you're like, but how does that apply to me? People come up to me all the time and they say, this is what I want of my life. I want to be a strong woman. I want to be inspirational. I want to have my stuff together. I want people to look at me and say, man, that's a strong person, someone that inspires me, someone that I can follow. And I tell them, then do it. And they're like, yeah, but I can't be that person. Not until I get my fitness right, not until I lose this weight, not until I get my money right, not until I overcome these challenges, not until this, not until that. And they put all of who they are into these external factors instead of just being. Yesterday we were at the urgent care, and I was getting my foot looked at, and the doctor walks in, and I'm sitting on the table, and John's off in the corner in a chair. And the doctor comes in and she acknowledges me and she says hello, but she doesn't say anything to John. And she walks out of the room, and John thought, well, that bothered me. Like, what's her deal? And immediately he caught himself thinking these negative thoughts about her and said, I'm going to be positive. Maybe she's having a rough day. Maybe she's in a rush. Maybe she didn't see me. And you know, when I first decided that I wanted to be a positive person, I would have done something similar, because if you would have asked me what positivity was a year ago, I would have said it's cutting people a break when they treat you like jackasses. I mean, that's just what it was. Bad things happen to me, people are mean to me, and I give them a free pass. My mindset has changed so much. Because the question is not, why didn't she acknowledge John? The question should be, why does it bother him? There's nothing he can do to change her or how she responded to him. And in fact, by thinking that she was rude is his perception. And her being rude only exists because he decides to perceive it that way. Without his perception of her, she wouldn't be rude. We get to perceive the world the way in which we want to. We were sitting in that room and I thought, I could perceive this room as being tiny, or I could perceive this room as being large. It doesn't change the size of the room. The only thing that changes is how I decide to see it. Whether or not he understands why she treated him that way doesn't change the fact that it is what it is. The only thing that he can change is how he responds to it. So again, the question is, why does it bother you so much? I don't know. I was taught that it's rude when people ignore you. Why? Because it's polite to say hello. Why? That's just what my parents taught me. Why? And to keep digging and figure out what's going on internally that makes you perceive the world in the way you do. Because it's the only thing that you have control over. And when you stop focusing on everything that's going on around you and how people are treating you around you and how people are behaving around you and what the circumstances around you, and you start focusing on yourself, you can be like the tree and you can just grow. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are. All that matters is you. Be selfish. Be the tree. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't overthink things. Just be who you want to be every day, regardless of what the circumstances around you, regardless of how people are treating you around you, regardless of your situation. You don't need anything. You don't need anyone. All you need to do is focus on what's going on inside of you. And how do you strip away all of the things that you were taught, and all of the preconceived notions that you have, and all of the prejudices and things that you've been told, so that you can just be.